House committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol has voted to hold two former Trump advisors in contempt of Congress. Trade advisor Peter Navarro and communications aide Dan Scavino have refused to comply with their investigation. The resolution now goes to the full House, where the Democratic majority chamber is expected to approve it. It will then be up to the Justice Department to decide whether to prosecute.
We have learned that President Trump and his team were warned in advance and repeatedly that the efforts they undertook to overturn the 2020 election would violate the law and our Constitution. They were warned that January 6th could and likely would turn violent.
Navarro recently called the committee's vote an unprecedented partisan assault on a president's right of executive privilege. He said if Trump waived the privilege, he would be happy to comply with the committee. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed House Bill 1557 into law on Monday. Officially, it's called the Parental Rights in Education Bill. However, opponents have nicknamed it the Don't Say Gay Bill. The new law bans educators from teaching about sexual orientation or gender identity issues in kindergarten through third grade. And after third grade, those subjects must be taught in a way that is age appropriate according to state standards. And parents now have the right to sue a district for violations. During Monday's event, DeSantis held up examples of transgender educational materials he said were found in schools in Florida. He claimed that many of those who oppose the bill are doing so because they support enabling schools to transition students to a different gender without the knowledge or consent of the parent. Will Smith took to Instagram Monday to apologize to Chris Rock for slapping him at during Sunday night's Oscars. In a statement posted to social media sites, Smith said that he was out of line and embarrassed. Quote, "I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong," Smith said. Smith slapped Rock after the stand-up comedian made a joke about the physical appearance of Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. Smith drew scrutiny for not apologizing to Rock in his acceptance speech after winning the Best Actor Oscar for his role in King Richard. Smith's statement came hours after the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences released a statement saying it condemned the actor's actions. Russia and Ukraine returned to the negotiating table today in Turkey. As the war rages on in Ukraine, so too does the uproar over President Biden's words. The president refusing to back down from his comment that Putin cannot remain in power. NBC's Bree Jackson has more.
A defiant President Biden refusing to walk back his controversial statement that Vladimir Putin cannot remain in power.
The fact of the matter is, I was expressing the moral outrage I felt toward the way Putin is dealing and the actions of this man, just brutality of it.
The president insisting he was not calling for a regime change and that his comments will not trigger more aggression from Putin.
The idea that he is going to do something outrageous because I called him for what he was and what he's doing, I think is just not rational.
Allies voice concern that Russia will use Mr. Biden's words as propaganda. French President Emmanuel Macron saying, "We can't escalate in either words or actions." Facing fierce resistance from Ukraine, Russian forces are shifting their focus to the east, a move that may be geared toward splitting the country in two. In Kyiv, Ukrainians are holding on to hope.
But I think that if everyone would leave Kyiv, Putin will win, and I don't want to let him win.
President Biden promising more aid as part of his nearly $6 trillion budget proposal. Russia and Ukraine returned to the negotiating table in Turkey today. Ukraine's president says he's willing to discuss his country's neutrality in order to end the war without delay. In Washington, Bree Jackson for NBC News.